How is it going, everyone? It is Thursday, January 11th, 2024. And as always, let's take a look at what the market's doing. We will review the picks from yesterday. And I'll talk about some trades that closed. And we'll give some picks for today. So, first thing here with the market, let's zoom this guy out a little bit. CPI reaction came yesterday. I think I said 3% expected, which was wrong. It's 3.2% expected. Slight beat, slight heat. CPI came at 3.4 expected. If you look, the initial reaction was negative, and then we fought back up. But when the market opened, we had a bearish reaction to the CPI and a start to a bearish trend day over here. And the market was finding support, and we had this pretty long rally here that had pretty nice volume right until about here, and then the volume tapered off a little bit. But bullish reversal sort of day, right? And you might think, okay, well, what are the clues for some of this? What I saw here was we basically hit all the way down to AVWAP-Q. Institutions were like, I'll take it at this price. This is a great price. Started gobbling up the sellers, over here. And then we started to get liftoff. There was some fighting at VWAP. And then when we started to break it, some of these shorts were getting squeezed out, especially if you're here, you're going to start to feel the pain. So intraday buys started off pretty bearish, and now it's more neutral. We still haven't gotten past this prior day high, so there still may be more selling to go, but I view this bounce as pretty tall and pretty organized. We couldn't get anything going to the downside. This is the first stack or move down in this whole rally, so pretty big leg up in my opinion. If we see a higher low over here, we might be in a good position to take out the high of the day. Probably not today, unless we get one of those crazy big candles, but definitely tomorrow I could see it happening. So intraday, I haven't taken any trades. On a swing basis, I am a little bit more bullish than I was earlier in the morning, just because of this nice rally up and the candle that we have on the D1, this test of this level here. And then when it holds, we can stage this next leg higher. Let's go over the pick from yesterday, which I believe was Microsoft. So I took Microsoft at 383, which is not Microsoft. As always, I put it in the wrong area. All right. So if you had taken Microsoft, I took it right somewhere over here, 382, and my target was this high plus trend line dating back quite a bit. And if you look at that, stock bounced off the trend line over here. I got my fill at 389. Pretty much right in the morning, then gap down, or didn't gap down, but filled in the gap here with some of the selling from CPI and staging a rally up. So Microsoft was a nice win overnight. We got the full spectrum of the move. So that's great. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it didn't happen, but in this case it happened, so I can take that off the list. I was also in PanW. PanW was not super close to my profit target, but you can see it held up really nicely here with the market decline, right? Market's going down. PanW managed to gap up, lower high, surging higher. So I'm actually looking to add to this position. I'm just kind of waiting for this 1OP bullish cross to form here. I like the compression that I'm seeing in PanW, so I'm going to create an alert on this. And also create an alert for SPY. And sometimes they may coincide up over here. Also really nice relative strength. It's kind of compressing while the market moved down here. So I like what I'm seeing in PanW, any stage higher, and we should be off to test that. Other one was the Uber put credit spread. Uber really nice today. Even if you take it as a normal trade, it has just made a new high of the day. I like Uber quite a bit. I really, really like it. Looks like this isn't any sort of major support, so I'm going to delete that. Like I said, I thought it might be, but I don't think it is really. This is a far bigger support level on Uber. If I draw it right over here, there's the gap, and then there's the gap fill. So that tiny gap, if we zoom in earlier, we can see that it's probably providing some support here. If we zoom in the intraday, and that confirms the level on the daily. All right. So Uber, super, super nice recovery here and really nice relative strength. Might be one you could even say swing. Didn't get the fill in the PCS, so there's that, but can't get them all. Current positions I'm in right now, still in NVIDIA, put credit spread. That's had a nice day of gains. Airbnb put credit spread. Not worried about that. Holding pretty well. Amgen, let's look at this guy. So Amgen has been down past couple of days, but you can see here, found some support at the 8 EMA, and this was the key tell that it's support, that we found support here, and we couldn't make a lower low when the market made a lower low here at 11.15 and 11.10. So this tells us that there is support forming on this level, and we have a nice base, and we can start to stage a move higher. So I like this. This level is holding, so I expect it to start moving up again on this market move. I didn't like how most of this candle was erased. Ideally, it would have held a little bit more. So it just tells me that the buying isn't as strong as I would like it to be. But you can see Amgen, we have a move up. It tests this low here, and then it gets this next stage up, right? That's just sort of the nature of the beast. The personality of the stock. It does retest those areas. It doesn't just go gangbusters out of the gate. GS, pretty similar story, testing this horizontal level and holding it right here. You can see it's tested it a couple times, and it's almost made a new high of the day. I still don't like GS that much. It should rally into earnings. It is coming up on the buy into earn scan, I believe. If I sort by symbol. Yes, so it's in my buy into earn scan. So we should see some surge into earnings, but remains to be seen. I have tomorrow and I have Monday to see a move up from GS. So I'm going to give it that time to hit my price or get to my price target of around 390, and it should make profits on the trade. AMD over here, same thing, testing that 8 EMA. That's holding pretty well. Was pretty weak with the market. Staged a rally higher. It's kind of flat. It's not really moving strong or with the market here, but it may be hitting a little bit of resistance. And I should see if I actually even got filled on this. I might have even got filled on this a lot earlier. Yes, I got filled at 150 on this retest. So I'm actually out of AMD, which is really nice. Could go higher, but, took my profits. Happy I can move on to other trades. All right, so let's look at some positions for today. First one here, Vive, called out earlier in the chat. Really, really nice breakout through all the moving averages through this pretty flat horizontal level or low or high minus trend line, some room to this next high minus trend line. It's just been nonstop all day, grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. And it never gets too far away from its 8 EMA. It's just sort of steadily climbing. So this is like honestly the perfect day trading stock where you can just, it literally does not give two shits about what the market's doing right now, and just continues to power up on its own. So Vive is one that I really like today. Would I go long here? Maybe. I think I would take maybe a half position. That's pretty fair in a trade because we're not above this prior day high, which I don't like, but we did recover a lot of the gains and we confirmed support at a VWAP Q. So that's what I really like to see as well. Marvel is a pretty big one called out in the chat. You can see that it's testing this horizontal support and horizontal level right over here. And there's a couple of places where it has to break out. If we zoom back really far here, you can see that this is a pretty key level that it's testing. So if it can break this level, then we are looking good on Marvel. That was a pretty popular day traded one in the chat, but I don't have anything super great that I love. I'm just sort of holding on to certain things. So let's take a quick look here. I'm going to give you a quick look at the process, and what we're going to look for here is a stock that is relatively strong. So let's look at a nice relative strength stock over here. Vive is up there. ETN, nice breakthrough here. CYTK. Yeah, that is a choppy guy. Let me tell you something. I have a couple people in the chat. I'm not in that one personally. CRM. Ooh, okay. Right up against this high plus trend line, which is honestly pretty nice for a down day. I like this move. Bit out of the gate. Let's keep looking. ENET is nice. Has managed to climb steadily higher. Made a new high of the day. Volume okay-ish. Let's see what's on bull day trade. Nothing popping out too much. Gen, and this is a really nice search that I made. It's basically stocks have to have an R volume of above. Let's see the info right here. Yep, so strong short-term momentum and good volume. So they're above the prior day high. I'm not going to see this bullish explosion alert. Above VWAP, they have good volume and they have relative strength. So if I know when I look at this stock that it'll be fantastic intraday. Oh, look at this, Sava. All right, I like Sava over here. Still has to break through this gap. It looks like it poked through this gap, but wasn't quite able to break through it. All right, so that's the actual gap. Now we have a rejection over here. So let's see if this level ends up being a little more respected. It looks like it's oscillating around this level. So what I would like to see in Sava over here is if it can make this new high of the day. Let's take a look at Walmart. Poked above it and then fell back below. So Walmart, a little bit weak. I don't think I can get this PCS off again. But let's see. Let's see what Walmart will give me. And it will give me absolutely nothing. Yeah, not enough credit. Not enough credit. Yeah, so nothing that's really jumping out at me here. Crowd has really nice relative strength. Nvidia has nice relative strength. Falling off a little bit here. See if anything's on new high of the day. Urban was nice earlier. Okay, so it looks like it's holding that breakout. And it's confirming some support in this gap. Look at that. It dipped back in the gap and it just immediately took off. Let's zoom out a little bit on an M15 basis. All right, so there's the gap up. Profit selling or profit taking. Test this level right here. Okay, holds. I mean, it pokes back for like just a second, and then a pretty strong snapback reaction. And this happens separate of the market. So if we overlay SPY over here, snapback is really strong, doesn't get dragged down to make a new low because buyers are very engaged, and then we make a new high of the day. So I like what I'm seeing in Urban. 8 EMAs catching up to it a little bit now. Not too overextended. I like what I'm seeing here. I'm going to set a alert. It is a bit choppy. You could also, yeah, you could even do a put credit spread on Urban if you wanted to. Using this gap as resistance. So you have resistance right over here at this $37 level. And then you have a second level at the $36 level. So what I could probably do, and notice that this is upward sloping too. So this is eventually, the 50 SMA, is going to move up in my favor. So it will eclipse the $36 mark in a few days. So I'll have that double layer of support. So let's check about a put credit spread on Urban. So let's go to the 9th. The 35, 36. Oh, there's no volume on here. Let's go to the 5th. I think we can go out to the 16th. Yeah, because this is on the 27th. So we have some time here. 36, 35. There is something there. We don't know how liquid. Yeah, option liquidity isn't great. So that may put a hamper on things. But I do like that concept. 36.35 would be very, very nice. Would you have to go closer to in the money? Yeah, maybe go closer to the money. 36.35 could work, but not super liquid options. Let's keep looking. Let's keep looking over here. TKO. IMVT. So, nah, nothing that's really catching my eye. ZM is finding support here. This could be a pretty nice put credit spread. It's been pretty weak, though. It's been pretty weak, but a lot of support here. See that today, yeah, double top, lower high. Moved up. This could be pretty nice if it breaks through here. It's not bullish enough, but there is some support forming. Yeah. The other thing we can do, let's look at Pop Bull here. We can find some really nice things on Pop Bull. CRM, DBX, TRV. Let's look at TRV. So this is the process you got to do. Just try to find really great stocks. Now, TRV is really nice here. Really steady move up. Compressed, held the 8 EMA, gapped up, tested down. As soon as the market found support, it launched off. You can see how much it's fighting on the way down here. The move up isn't on great volume. Let's check out. Okay, so this could be a pretty significant level of resistance because this is a pretty, I don't know if this is the all-time high. Let's check. Yeah, it looks like that's the all-time high. So that could be a level of resistance, but nice move today. Vive we saw again. I mean, Vive is just beautiful. TME, CRM we've seen. Ramp. Ooh, I do like Ramp. I like what I'm seeing here. Bull flag. Gapped up. It's just moving higher. Great volume. It's a little bit on the lower side of liquidity. I typically want more than 1 million shares of 20-day average volume. This is closer to 500,000. So Not the most ideal, but gap up, held it, moved up higher, saw some selling here, but we eclipsed it pretty hard with this market move up. And this was the key tell today, because if we overlay the SPY D1 here, right? The SPY is posted gains for these past 3 days, and so has ramp. But today is the key because we have a lot of gains while the market didn't have that major move up, right? It's just kind of going up and up and up. So I like ramp. I like ramp a lot. It probably has terrible option to liquidity. Yeah, look at that, -10. But I think that's my pick of the day. I like ramp. I like what I'm seeing in ramp. So what I would do is probably have AVWebQ as my stop at around $35. So $2 there. And you can target, there's a little bit of a gap here, so that could provide a little, could be a stop. But there's also a high plus trend line that comes into play around $39. So I like that. So yeah, ramp is my pick of the day. Let's tag that over. And we will look and see how it does tomorrow. Thank you for watching, everyone. I don't think I have anything else to say, really. But what I will say is that this is a pretty good day to practice patience, because we had this strong counter move down that is against the longer term D1 trend. So you could maybe day trade the short side, but if you day trade the short side and see, hey, we're hitting AVWebQ, you're prone to getting squeezed out in these reversals. So, I personally was just waiting this out, seeing what would happen in the bounce here. What is the market going to look like in the close? And then making my decision from there. But when you set alerts, you're in control. You don't have to jump in on trades. Have your profit targets in mind. Have your market bias. And it just takes a lot of experience, I think, to weather out these storms. And I'll tell you this, I'll share the story here. When I was trading in June, this is really the first long-term bullish market conditions that I've seen with this breakout over here. Breakout test over here. I was going up long. I was getting overconfident and overextended here. And then I would get in on shorts here. And then I would lose money on shorts on the springboard up. I would lose money on shorts there. So I was like, all right, I'm maybe winning 65% of my shorts, but my profit factor is like 0.5 because there's just like 3 or 4 shorts that are just absolutely tanking. And maybe they were not the best trades, but even good picks were tanking. They were just completely just ripping up at me. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do shorts in a bullish trend. Even here, I took 2 shorts on December 6th. One I followed and I added to, which I regret, right? I didn't do the trade for my own thesis. And I wouldn't normally add to that trade. But I took 2 shorts here and then exited out on this move and lost on those. So my shorts just haven't worked. They haven't worked. And the reason is the market's just so strong. I don't want to short, right? I'm better off waiting through these periods than just trying to find a trade and opportunity for each time. So we're waiting for all the puzzle pieces to align. We have this move up here from finding support at this level, finding support again intraday. We weathered the CPI. It was a speed bump, and I do believe that we will go higher. We did make a new high of the year this year, and this bear cycle has been pretty benign. If we cross up, we have a good chance of finishing close to the high of the day today, which I would see as a major victory for the bulls because they fought back up. And it looks like, let's see, we're having some resistance on the prior day open, the prior day close. We closed right here. So that red to green will provide some resistance as probably longs. People who are long over here or shorted near the open, right? Or sorry, who are long right here trying to pick a bottom, taking the heat. They want to get out of the positions and scratch the trade. So that might provide a little bit of resistance. But the key thing here is just weathering out the storm of these pullbacks and expect them and just be mentally tough and go into your trades and your portfolio with that plan. Know what you're going to expect and know what you're going to do in different scenarios, right? And give probabilities to that in your head. That assigns confidence. So I might be rambling on here a little bit. So I'm going to end the video now. But my pick of the day is ramp, wins on Microsoft and AMD. And I will see you all tomorrow.